Time now for the markets, and Leighton Spann, as you can see, is not with us today. So starting off, we have a new snapshot of the catfish industry. Processing is down while pond bank prices rise. Also ahead in the markets, farm gate milk prices may drop some. The run-up in feeder cattle prices may cool as cotton trade keeps an eye on old crop exports. We begin with farm-raised catfish. The latest monthly report reflects what happened in March in the U.S. Producers received an average pond bank price of $1.17 per pound for premium-sized live fish. That's an increase of 30 cents per pound from 1 year ago. Farm sales totaled 29.5 million pounds round weight. That's a drop of 6% from March of 2013. Processor sales tallied up to be just under 16 million pounds. That's a decrease of 1% from the same month a year ago. Farm gate milk prices for U.S. producers may be working lower. Analyst Naomi Bloom has been looking at the leading indicators for the dairy sector and thinks there will be some decline.
Do we think that the price of milk is just going to tank and fall apart? Absolutely not. But the swing higher that we've had is probably going to start to go sideways to where we see front month milk trade at $20 and maybe the summer months set back towards $18. The volatility is coming, and even though our export markets are strong and the demand is there, we are feeding these animals and we have record production of milk. And if the demand starts to ease up a little bit, we're going to see the milk prices ease up too.
Hillshire Brands Company has signed a deal that will expand its presence in frozen foods. Hillshire is buying Vans Natural Foods for $165 million. The Arizona-based company makes frozen breakfast and snack foods such as waffles and pancakes. The deal becomes effective before the end of May. Hillshire's expanded brand lineup will now include Vans, Jimmy Dean, Ballpark, and Hillshire Farm. Well, the April 25th Cattle on Feed report will give traders in the beef sector some additional data to consider as they debate the future market direction. Well, the technicals have turned soft at times, giving rise to discussions about an approaching downtrend. Analyst Walt Hackney is of the opinion that there is limited upside now for feeder cattle.
I believe that the run-up is fairly well over in regard to feeder cattle. I think the emotion behind that market has fairly well run its course. I suggest in our own observation out here and in what we're bidding on cattle compared to a short week 10 days ago, I would suggest that these yearling cattle are going to be $4 to $6 a hundred cheaper. I think that calves, I don't know, but in a calf bringing $225, that calf could drop $25 in a moment. Some of them are going to go empty on their pens. They're not going to run the risk of the corn jumping and feeder cattle not able to get them bought cheaper.
The porcine epidemic diarrhea virus, or PED, is now officially in Mexico. A Mexican news agency reports there are cases in virtually all states. Retail pork prices in Mexico are increasing rapidly too, up 40% at some meat counters from what they were just recently. Well, let's break from the markets for a moment to look at the trivia quiz for this week. Here's the question. Which state in the Mid-South had the highest average cotton yield in 2013? Is the answer Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, or Tennessee? I'll tell you at the end of the markets. Well, we move into the row crop side of the markets now on Farm Week, beginning with cotton. The May 2014 contract was displaying the most strength at the market close on Wednesday this week. Brugler Marketing reports that May notched an impressive triple-digit gain on Hump Day. Meanwhile, Dones reports that China's cotton acreage remains a significant wild card to watch. Market bulls say that China's cotton acreage could drop 22%, while market bears doubt the drop will be much over 10%. In any event, analysts say that China could tap into its mountain of stored cotton and whittle it down by curbing imports from the U.S. and elsewhere. As for corn, analyst Don Roos says that he's disappointed in recent trade activity. He's calling corn a sideways market that's being outdone by both soybeans and wheat.
The corn market since the 1st of April has just been treading water. We haven't done anything. We've just gone sideways while the soybean market has moved higher on the tight supplies. The wheat market has moved higher on the Ukrainian situation. And I think what it tells us the maturity of the market. We think that to end the week, the market closed technically poor. It's a bad sign. If we get the all-clear signal on the weather next week, which it looks like the weather's improving, we probably have socked in an intermediate high. Selling opportunities have been up around this 510, 515 on Dees wheat, and the same thing on July wheat, or July corn.
In some trade circles, soybeans are being referred to as a changing market these days. At the close Wednesday, the May 2014 contract displayed the most weakness. There continue to be rumors of the Chinese canceling sales, which is troubling news to traders. Analyst Darren Newsom believes that the bean market is trying to plug a tight situation between now and fall harvest, a situation that up until now has created an inverse situation on the charts.
Is that inverse is starting to weaken. There's something going on fundamentally where, yes, we are tighter than the 135 million bushels. That's granted. We know that. But something's going on fundamentally. Either there's some cancellations occurring, or as there's been talk of China sending some ships back because of credit problems. Something's going on the fundamental side that we won't see the headlines now for a while that's changing the structure of this market. And the weaker or the less bullish these spreads get, the more pressure we could see starting to come from the investment side, the fund side, as they start selling some of their positions.
Before our feature story today, let's check the trivia answer for this week. Well, the correct choice is B. Louisiana averaged 1,267 pounds of cotton per acre last year. Mississippi had 1,188 pounds.